The Voluntary Guidelines on the Responsible Governance of Tenure of Land, Fisheries and Forestry in the context of National Food Security (VGGT) were endorsed by the Committee on World Food Security in May 2012. Sierra Leone has dual land tenure system that was introduced by the British during the colonial time. The freehold and leasehold tenure system commenced in and around Freetown, the capital of the country, and the customary land tenure system for the provinces. The Voluntary Guidelines on the Responsible Governance of Tenure of Land, Fisheries and Forestry in the context of National Food Security was introduced in Sierra Leone in 2014 to guide the government as the country positioned itself to reform old land laws.
The voluntary guidelines for responsible governance of tenure of land, forests and fisheries is one priority which brought about FAO, the Government of Sierra Leone and the Government of Germany into a tripartite agreement in 2014. And that was based on a request from the Government of Sierra Leone that this program should be piloted in Sierra Leone.
It consists of certain principles that the government can refer to in the management of natural resources. It also consists of principles that we can use to review the existing laws on the management of natural resources, on the management and administration of land, and we can also use it to develop new laws, because this is important because the current situation, for example, in the land situation, we are having some new trends coming up. So in order to be able to address these trends, we can use the principles that comes from the VGGT to develop new laws so that we are able to address some of the new events, some of the new things that are happening in the management and administration of land resources in the country.
Everything, every aspect of the land, on the land issue of the VGGT is now domesticated. What we are now left to do is to look at the fisheries and the forestry sector.
Soon after the passing of the voluntary the VGGT, Sierra Leone was one of the first member states to commit on its implementation. Reason it recognized the importance of the guidelines and what it can do for improving the responsible governance of natural resources in Sierra Leone. As you're aware, Sierra Leone is a country that is very resource rich in terms of land, forestry, fisheries, including even mineral resources.
To actualize the implementation of the VGGT, the Government of Sierra Leone, with support from FAO and funds from the German government, started by putting together a multi-stakeholders platform which comprised of the Government of Sierra Leone, civil society organizations, private sector, tenure right holders, and traditional leaders.
All of these institutions will come together every month once. We sit and discuss the management of natural resources, and we also look at cross-cutting issues between these institutions and the ministries. So the institutional framework actually consists of the technical working group, a steering committee, an interministerial task force.
The platform brings government, civil society, private sector, academia, the civil society acting a key role, the traditional authorities, including the land-owning families who play a key role when it comes to discussion. So since that period for the launch, we've had every year an annual multi-stakeholder platform that brings close to over 300 participants coming all over Sierra Leone. So the first phase ended in 2016 with the development of a national land policy, which had been developed in 2015 and then launched officially in 2017.
We and other civil society organizations and other UN agencies, including FAO, were very instrumental, and the German government were very instrumental to ensure that aspects of the voluntary guidelines would be integrated into the national land policy.
To have a bearing on the policies of this country really gives an advantage for Sierra Leone to have better policies in managing the forests and managing the fisheries and managing the land. And the best example is the 2015 national land policy, which is being hailed as one of the best land policies globally, which has references to the VGGT, and we have seen the implementation moving forward.
With the new land policy in place, raising awareness on land tenure in communities was initiated, highlighting the rights of women to land.
When it comes to land administration, most times the women actually push themselves away from land issue, thinking land is a man issue. And I will tell you, in those community works, it's different now. Many women are able to speak out, that are part of the communities. So with those kind of separate meetings you have are really what keeps the women empowered and also bringing themselves up to start participating in land-related issues and decision making.
From BGGT kuwaji sawa lo hamwa kamiji so gota soga ne mo ko la nya right na so nya han ro mo right takpele nya de go mo ko ke ho he ogun.
That engagement we don't get with NIMATI, Ministry of Lands and the FAO don't really make the women in this part of the world are conscious of their right as far as land ownership is concerned.
We don't come get engagement with the community people. We get series of meetings with them. Through the meeting, and they were able to form the village land committee. After we don't form the village land committee, we select plenty women them where we try for tell them the right way they as women get for own land and the importance of land to them as women.
There was a lot of trainings that we conducted throughout the entire Sierra Leone. We talk more than 500 women have been capacitated to better advocate for their rights on land and look at all these discriminatory practices that hinder their access to land.
You see the land, forget and the same, the woman and the man. Now actually see which happen will be so. And you see now who them born woman now, them born man now, the woman don't go so who born, you can't see don't get man. So this land you can't do.
The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, and their implementing partners supported the Government of Sierra Leone to map out customary land in 4 districts in the country.
The new national land policy recommend that is done. And the reason for doing that, people don't know their boundaries. But if you never know your boundaries, with time, what you think is a boundary will disappear. Some will be like ant hills, some trees that will disappear at some points. So there have been a lot of fighting. We have more land cases in court than any other kind of case. People killing themselves for land dispute. And to bring sanity in the land sector, I think that was why the policy recommended that they do that mapping. And I think with the mapping, everyone knows on the ground physically where the line stops. Then I think that will prevent future problems.
And NIMATI be kind of a chiefdom, they say they want for help the community to map up their land, the family land, the village land, and the outer boundaries. Indeed, it was not easy because the people that the community not be easily accept the idea.
Then come with some machine there. The machine then they go and do subio, they give me paint, who reach out, put back, paint and pass back. Go put back, print am, pass back, go put back, print am. Say they no should be all area the land. I don't be no find who say me land chap. Now I don't can no say na for come here na the store.
FAO developed an innovative tool for mapping land and natural resources, which is called Solutions for Open Land Administration, SOLA, and Open Tenure. These are innovative fit-for-purpose land administration tools which you can use to improve surveying within a very quick time and very cost-friendly. And again, this helped the government for the first time to be able to conduct a land recordation for customary land.
Now that we are mapping and we are seeing that families have started to see, yes, now they know how much land they have, we feel very confident that tomorrow with the maps in their communities, perhaps with the maps in their own homes as well, right? Investors coming in may not lie to them or may not take undue advantage.
So I will know who shall stop. But for no exactly the acres I get, I know we know. So all they can do like say fine, because I don't know. I must say can I get things in land.
I now know say after the way we don't get this map, nobody will come on a car for car invade my own land. It no matter what he will get, but what the GPS don't show, and what people they agree for. I think say that they better, so it's good for my chiefdom.
The government now have announced high level of commitment for the implementation of the VGGT. So what we have done is to now enshrine VGGT into our normal way of doing business. Now the institutional framework is government owned.
The foundation was for us to set up the governance structures. The foundation was for us to send the message out, to get everybody on board, and we have so many stakeholders. The multi-stakeholders platform, which has been carried on for the past 5 years, is already a platform that can continue for people to discuss issues pertinent to the management of land in the country.